Hello, Professor Flynn. My name is Mansoor Farouk. It is August 7th, 2017. This is my research presentation for Computer Science 631. Currently, there is a debate on whether the government can ask big companies such as Facebook, Apple, Google, and more to provide backdoors, known vulnerabilities for them to view user information in the name of national security. History shows government has made different type of requests from these companies in the past. However, this request we will examine was described as a master key. Questions we are looking to tackle in this presentation. We will discuss what is exceptional access request, what is the government asking for and their justification, what are the concerns of these software giants and other software development companies, how feasible is it for them to provide such request, what is the user's view on this debate, what is the software developer's view on this debate, and how does this tie into web development. Let's start out with some engagement questions for our reviewers. This will help us understand where all parties are coming from. As you think about these engagement questions, think about what tasks law enforcement are up against and what type of assistance they are looking for. Engagement question number 1. Missing children. A child abductor is shot by police in South Carolina after hot pursuit. After tracking down the suspect with traditional techniques, they discovered more bodies. All children were believed to be dead as their cases went cold. However, 2 are found alive in the trunk. Officers have multiple open missing children cases on their plate and hope this is the break they were looking for. The rescued children claim that there are more children in danger, however, are unable to provide further information. Officers are low on time and need to find these children before any more harm is caused to them. They find the abductor's smartphone at the scene, but there is no way to unlock the device or access the user's iCloud account to find clues. Can law enforcement request or force smartphone manufacturers to break into the smartphone and/or websites that store data such as iCloud.com? Why or why not? Engagement question number 2. Hospital ransomware. A hospital is using a popular web application software on their critical life-saving machines. A group of hackers caused much grief to the hospital systems in the region by hacking the web application. These hackers have installed ransomware by using backdoors discovered in the application. IT has never seen such an effective malware and are unable to mitigate the risk since they did not create the application. After a few patients have died due to the malfunctioning machines, the hospital admin has decided to pay the ransomware. The hackers have stolen a lot of personally identifiable information from the hospital and made it available on the black market. Question: is the IT company responsible for the death and loss of data? This scenario describes the risks of backdoors, if they're intentionally or unintentionally put in place. Regardless who is at fault, this goes to show that software vulnerabilities can prove costly. Real life scenario: national security. FBI discovered a locked work-issued iPhone 5C from one of the shooters in a December 2015 terrorist attack in San Bernardino, California, that killed 14 people and injured 22. The 2 attackers later died in a shootout with police, having first destroyed their personal phones. The work phone was recovered intact but was locked with a 4-digit password and was set to eliminate all its data after 10 failed password attempts. FBI claims that it can use information from the phone to track down possible terrorist networks and future attacks. Should Apple abide the request from the FBI? The FBI wants Apple to create electronically signed new software that would enable the FBI to unlock a work-issued iPhone 5C. Should they jeopardize privacy for all in exchange for security for all? Recently, due to terrorist attacks on American soil, the FBI asked for Apple to provide into a user's phone iCloud password and more. However, Apple states it doesn't create backdoors. Backdoors could be code written intentionally to allow bypass user authentication from the developer side. Apple claims that creating such software or allowing known vulnerabilities to exist can be used by all, not just the government. If Apple creates such software, why can't any code guru create the same exact software? There's nothing stopping them from doing so. Also, how will Apple know if this software is only used once for this case and not abused by law enforcement or others it provides it to? 3 topics to understand. What is iCloud.com? What is a backdoor? What is encryption and how does it work? iCloud is a website that simply is a service that keeps all your devices in sync. In other words, you can share information between an iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, and a computer. The information on each device is automatically updated to make sure the most current information is available on devices. What is a backdoor? Backdoor is a means of access to a computer program that bypasses security mechanisms. A programmer may install sometimes a backdoor so that a program can be accessed for troubleshooting or other purposes. However, attacks often use backdoors that they detect or install themselves as part of an exploit. What is encryption? The process of converting information or data into a code, especially to prevent unauthorized access. Having a password to a website such as iCloud.com or having a password on a smartphone device is a type of encryption. It doesn't allow the user to access any information unless they know the password. So unauthorized users should not be able to access someone's data. The debate comes down to privacy versus security. I will discuss the 2 key arguments that the government and the developers state for themselves. Government. The growing use of encryption will neutralize their investigative capabilities. They propose that data storage and communication systems must be designed for exceptional access by law enforcement agencies. Government here is not saying let's not use encryption. They're saying that they should have a key to that encryption, so in case they need to access, they should be. Developers. Law enforcement fails to account for the risks inherent in an exceptional access system such as large-scale vulnerabilities. Developers argue here that just because we can provide you one key, how do we know that key won't be misused or recreated by someone else? I'm going to provide the government's view, the developer's view, and the user's view, and how they see to this debate. These views are extracted from scholar sources to highlight the main arguments that are repeated over and over again. Government view: backdoors. It can save lives by using information from terrorist devices to mitigate future attacks. FBI director indicated that technology had become the tool of choice for very dangerous people who threaten the United States' safety. He informed people that law enforcement agencies were going dark. This means that law enforcement agencies are unable to execute a warrant due to the inability to get into a locked cell phone or device. Prosecutors and investigators were having trouble doing their jobs. They were not able to access evidence on devices like smartphones, even with court warrants, because they lacked the technology to do so. Preventing another attack. Recovery of information from the iPhone in question may not lead to anything new, but what if there is evidence pointing to a third shooter? What if it leads to an unknown terrorist cell? Request from manufacturers is purposeful and does not burden the company itself. It can help law enforcement at any level track down criminals. Creating software to break encryption does not raise any First Amendment issues, an incidental effect on speech. Let's highlight some developer views on backdoors. Backdoors cannot be created for just good and not bad. Hackers will be able to discover vulnerabilities left open purposely for good causes. Government is threatening privacy rights of all using smartphones because of the few, and will use this case as a master key for other cases. Manufacturers will have weakened their own security systems to give government unfettered access to individuals' private information. Government violates First Amendment compelled speech. Dangerous precedent. The government's demand here, at its core, is unbound by any legal limits. It would set a dangerous precedent, in which the government could step aside established legal procedures authorized by through neon statutes to obtain users' data in ways not complemented by lawmakers. Not just one hack. The government's motion reassures the court and the public that the request here is a one-time only hack. But there are already strong indications that law enforcement will ask for broad authority under the All Writs Act on facts far different from the terrorism investigation at hand. Developers argue that the damage that could be caused by law enforcement's exceptional access requirement would be greater today than in the past. Exceptional access would force Internet system developers to reverse forward secrecy design practices that seek to minimize the impact on user privacy when privacy systems are breached. They will introduce unintended, hard-to-detect security flaws. Exceptional access ensures there is no respect for human rights and Internet laws. Let's look at some user views on backdoors. The devices we are using do not protect my data and have known vulnerabilities. I am at risk at all times either from hackers or government. My private affairs are no longer private. Most important than ever, the unprecedented scale of digital information used, stored, and communicated on the internet means that privacy, which has been at the heart of our democracy from inception, is needed now more than ever. Who is going to defend civil liberties now? Conclusion. Rumblings between technology companies and the government are likely to continue. Last month, several news outlets revealed that there have been numerous requests from law enforcement agencies across the country for Apple to help unlock other iPhones. Apple will want to know how the FBI got into the iPhone in order for it to patch any vulnerabilities in its software. The iPhone makers are likely to continue bolstering security in its software and devices. Users want their data protected at all costs.